We are ever so close to Election Day 2020, so let's take a closer look at where the presidential election stands right now. I'll start with a warning to just ignore the national polls. They don't mean anything. Our elections are not decided by who gets the most votes nationally. The presidential election will be decided state by state because of the Electoral College. So the polls to watch are the state polls. Now, history is important here. That's how we know how some states are going to vote no matter what. Like Oregon has not voted for a Republican since 1988. Oklahoma hasn't voted for a Democrat since 1968. There's just a handful of states that will decide the election. You've heard them called Battleground States, also called swing states or purple states. These are states that both candidates for president think they can win. They have historically been close, and historically, they have gone for Republicans and Democrats back and forth. Again, history plays a part in how a state will ultimately vote. For instance, Democrats love to say that Texas in this election is now a battleground state, and Republicans love to say that Minnesota is now a battleground state, except Texas hasn't voted for a Republican since Jimmy Carter in 1976. And Minnesota hasn't voted for a Republican since Richard Nixon in 1972, so I don't buy it. There is one new battleground state, and it's Georgia. Even though it hasn't voted for a Democrat since 1992, that's really not that long ago, and the polls show it is a toss-up with Joe Biden slightly ahead. So pay close attention to Georgia. If Joe Biden wins Georgia, that could show an early trend, and it might be difficult for Donald Trump to then win re-election. Same with North Carolina, also a battleground state, also a toss-up state, also a state where Joe Biden right now is slightly ahead in the polls. Let me put it simply. If Donald Trump loses Georgia and North Carolina, he loses the election. Now, you'll hear many political pundits say there are as many as 15 battleground states this year. That may have been true, but right now that number has shrunk significantly. Now, I've already told you that I don't think that Joe Biden can win Texas, and I really don't think he's going to win Georgia either, so let's give them to Donald Trump. Again, because of history. Same with Minnesota. I don't think that Donald Trump can win Minnesota, so let's give that to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden has built up a significant lead in Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, Michigan, and New Hampshire, so let's give them all to Joe Biden. That leaves 7 states that will decide who the next president will be. They are Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Polls in all 7 of these states are within 3 points. These are the 7 states that will decide the 2020 presidential election, and the presidential election is going to be very close. You can tell the race in those 7 states has narrowed, and those states are very important to this election because both the candidates and all their surrogates are spending all of their time in those 7 states in these final days. Now, based on all we have come up with so far, the Electoral College tally would be 239 for Joe Biden right now, as of this point, and 190 for Donald Trump. You need 270 to win, and there's still 109 electoral votes out there among the toss-up states. The biggest prize would be Florida with 29 electoral votes, then Pennsylvania with 20, Ohio with 18, North Carolina has 15, Arizona 11, Wisconsin has 10, and Iowa has 6. So now let's go ahead, based on the most recent polls, and again, these are very tight, but based on these most recent polls and the ones that give a slight edge to one candidate, we're going to give Florida, Ohio, and North Carolina to Donald Trump, and Arizona and Iowa to Joe Biden. Now, I will warn you that in some of those states, the lead for either Trump or Biden is less than 1%, so they really could go either way. But just for the sake of discussion, that would bring the Electoral College tally to 256 for Joe Biden and 252 for Donald Trump, with 2 states still out there, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Those two states, I think at this point, are going to decide who the next president of the United States will be. This scenario is why Donald Trump has held 3 rallies in Wisconsin in the last 4 days. It's why Joe Biden is going to be there on Friday. It's why Donald Trump held 3 rallies on Monday, 3 rallies in the same day in Pennsylvania, and he's going back. And then on Tuesday, Joe Biden was in Pennsylvania for his 10th visit, desperately trying to tell the people there that he is not going to get rid of fracking.
Look, let me be clear also. I'm not banning fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
In the meantime, Donald Trump, at all of his rallies, plays this video that features all of the times Joe Biden said he wanted to get rid of fracking, including this clip from the Democratic primary debates.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
Fracking is a big part of the Pennsylvania economy, and Joe Biden's past statements is eroding what once was a comfortable lead in Pennsylvania. If Joe Biden loses Pennsylvania, he loses the election. But look, that's only one scenario. Nobody really knows what's going to happen because this is a strange year. Like everything else in 2020, this presidential election has been strange. Over 70 million people have already voted by mail. That's more than half the people that voted in the 2016 election. So as much as history is important, the truth is we've never had an election like this one. Maybe it will be a landslide caused by anti-Trump sentiment in those mail-in ballots, but I don't think so. My bet is that this election will be decided by 2 states that the candidates will be visiting even more in these last few days. I'm Larry Mendte. We'll talk again soon.